welcome to episode 285 of Magic the Amateuring.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for people who are playing the game of Magic. Whether you are new to the game, learning the game, getting better, or you're ready to go crack a GP wide open.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And Megan, before this episode told me she was body snatched.
It's true. It's the only explanation for why I'm eating an almond croissant and not a bagel right now.
I don't even know who you are anymore.
I don't know who I am either.
Do you think it was an alien?
Yes. Which reminds me.
What?
I decided my favorite theory is the worm theory / no warp, like the prime directive theory.
Okay, so this is the question of if there are aliens out there.
Yes.
Which I personally believe, because there's just so much out there. How could there not be other intelligent life? But why haven't they contacted us yet if they exist?
And the worm theory / prime directive theory is a nicer way to say it.
Yeah.
Is that we're just like not worth contacting. We're not smart enough yet. We're not smart enough. We're not getting enough done. We are basically worms.
Yeah, and we don't have warp drive yet, so
exactly. So they can't. They're not allowed.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There you go. We've solved science.
What's your theory for why aliens haven't contacted us yet? Tweet at us at MTAcast with the hashtag alien theory.
On today's episode, we've got a lot to talk about, by the way, besides aliens.
Yes.
Even though I'm always thinking about them.
Yeah.
Constantly running in the back of my mind. M19 is out.
Yes, it sure is. And we went to a pre-release this weekend.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It was great. It was classic Magic.
It was classic Magic. That's exactly how it feels playing core set pre-release. You're just like, classic Magic.
Classic Magic. And if you've got drafts or sealed in the future for yourself, we're going to talk a little bit about our first impressions of what we think of Core Set 2019.
Yeah.
We're also going to talk about something from our brand new newsletter. Ooh. By the way, you should sign up.
You should. Our first one went out last week, and it was full of some sweet photos from some trips that we've taken recently.
Including a really creepy one of my giant face.
Oh, that's true. At an art installation at the Columbus Convention Center. Yeah. Very strange. Some lessons that Maria learned on the road.
Yeah.
Some sweet clips of what our friends have been doing around the internet, and an awesome recipe from none other than Pro Tour historian Brian David Marshall.
Yeah, it was fantastic newsletter. If you want to get in on that, you can just head to our website, either goodluckhighfive.com or magictheamateuring.com. There's a link to sign up for the newsletter there. And it's awesome. I saw it and I was like, I work on this show, but if I didn't, I would love reading this every week. I would love to
get this. Do you know what? I had a great time reading it while I put it together.
Yeah.
I didn't read it once it was done because I had read it 20 times while I was putting it together, but it was great.
My point is the section where I learned some lessons, I wanted to specifically share those with you on the show. And there are lessons about playing control. And if you listen to the show, you know that I am no fan of playing this kind of deck.
No.
However, they are running rampant
Maria isn't.
all over Standard right now. M19, change that. Hashtag, please. But even if it doesn't, I learned some interesting things that I thought maybe it would be good to share with all of you. And we can have a little talk about it because Megan here is the resident control expert.
I adore control. I'm very happy for you and the journey that you're starting out on. Also, I'm now going to go look at all of the tweets with hashtag please in them. Because that sounds like a very good hashtag.
It's probably a lot.
There's a lot. I imagine it is a lot of tweets.
And because we have a new set out, guess what?
Flavor Text Theater is coming at you with the brand new Core Set 2019. It's going to be great.
Yes. And our news, as always. But before we get started, a quick thank you to everybody who makes this show happen, literally makes this show happen with their money dollars every week on Patreon.
That's right.
Head on over to patreon.com/MTAcast if you too believe that this show should continue and you want to support it.
Yes. The summer months are always kind of hard for content creators.
True.
We get it. You're outside. You're doing exciting stuff. You've gone to the lake a bunch. I certainly have.
Yeah.
You've gotten sunburns. You've been tubing. You've done exciting things outside, and you're not necessarily listening as much or watching as much as you would be during the cold, dark, bleak winter months when we all wonder if we still have souls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So consider going on over to patreon.com/MTAcast and helping us through these sort of difficult summer months when sometimes subscribers fall off, sometimes patrons fall off. We totally get it. But if you're out there listening, consider chipping in and helping us keeping on.
Great point. Big thanks to cardkingdom.com/MTAcast for being the sponsor of our show, one of two. They're fantastic.
Yes.
And if you haven't ever ordered anything from them, give it a try the next time that you think, I need to order a box, I need to order boosters, I need to order a deck box or dice or anything like that, because you'll be so impressed with their shipping, with their customer service, and their array of products they offer on their website.
Ooh, coming up soon.
Yeah.
We're going to talk more
Yes.
about their decks, not today, but in the future. They now have 60 card singleton decks.
Yeah.
What are they calling them again?
Well, they're for Brawl.
Yes, but they called them something because we have their battle decks.
Yes.
Which are the smaller ones that we played with before and aren't singleton. But these are exactly like Brawl decks, except you can buy them 60 card singleton already ready to go with their general and everything.
This is so smart, by the way.
And it is so smart. So even if you're like, I'm a little bit intimidated, even by Brawl, 60 card singleton is a lot of cards.
Yeah.
You can go through. They have tons of ones that I picked one that has Tachova as the general, because obviously, have you met me?
Obvi. And I'm DePaula, so
yeah.
And it's cool because then you can customize these decks that they've put together for you with little cards of your own, and then you make your own Brawl deck off of the base, because sometimes it's just pretty daunting to be like, I gotta put 60 cards together.
It's intimidating. The catalog of Magic cards just in standard is an intimidating thing.
It is so many cards right now.
It is a lot
with the release of M19.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty cool, and you can buy them on cardkingdom.com/MTAcast, and more videos about those real soon. We figured out what they were called. It's sparring decks.
Sparring decks.
But anyway.
We're like, what's another word for battling?
Sparring.
Sparring.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, it's time for your news. This week in Magic. Don't leave home without it.
Yeah. Don't forget to pack some news in your backpack right alongside your lunch.
Yeah. It'll be a nice buffer because newspaper is used for packing often, and then you'll read it and be smart.
Exactly.
Think about it.
Just think about it. First up.
Yeah.
Guess what? M19 is out.
Hey, were you living under a rock? Well, then you didn't know this.
You didn't know this.
But it's out now.
If you somehow didn't know it, we're here to tell it to you.
Meaning that there was pre-releases this past weekend.
Yes.
And it's online, available to play on Magic the Gathering online. Not yet on Arena, but almost.
Yes, very soon on Arena.
Soon.
And this coming week is the release.
Yes. The release, which sounds like it's being leased again.
Yes.
But no.
No, it just means that it's going to be hitting standard at your FNMs. You're going to be able to buy boosters. You're going to be able to buy boxes. You're going to be able to buy all of that good stuff.
Yeah. And by the way, on Wednesday, we've got a special Arena stream, a pre-stream.
A pre-arena stream.
A pre-arena stream of M19.
On Thursday?
It's on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
I just need to look up the time.
That's right.
To tell you when to watch. But you can tune in at twitch.tv/Magic the Amateuring.
Yeah.
And check it out, because we're going to be streaming some M19 on Arena, which is pretty cool.
Playing it.
Yeah,
I'm going to be celebrating my mom's birthday.
Happy birthday, Megan's mom.
Right?
You can say
nice.
happy birthday to Megan's mom. And
yes. Neither of us will be there to hear it. But
yeah, I'm not sure what time. Anyway, I'll tweet out a link at MTA Cast, and you can check out what time that's going to be at. But it'll be on Wednesday. So yeah.
Also, if you're like, you fools are always talking about Twitter, and I don't have that because I don't like listening to people yell. Fair. Great point that you're making. You can also follow us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Or Instagram if you prefer either of those social mediums. I really enjoy Instagram because I can just fill my Instagram feed with really cute dogs and really amazing musical artists.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I just get to open it up and look at that. So, add us to that kind of happy feed.
I think it's 4 p.m.
So you'll have positive associations.
Central. Yes.
4 p.m. Central.
Yeah, we're on Instagram. It's cute.
Yeah,
anyway,
it is cute.
M19. Thing number 2.
Yes.
GP São Paulo happened this past weekend in Brazil, and it was modern.
Oh my goodness. Only one of the best formats.
Yeah, and it was very diverse. There was only, in the top 8, 2 of the same deck.
Wow.
Which was Mardu Pyromancer.
Ugh.
Well, we know your thoughts on Mardu Pyromancer now all of a sudden.
Look, I mean, classic Thoughtseize deck, am I right?
Yes, it is. And you know what? A lot of people are saying, is this the best deck in Modern right now?
Do you know what?
What do you think?
I think that Young Pyromancer is dumb.
Why do you say that? Because it's so good?
Because do you know what? It's a creature and it makes more creatures. What world is this?
Oh, you just don't like creatures.
Ugh, who does?
I do.
Look, unless my creatures fetch me lands from my deck.
Wow, that's what you want?
Yes.
Your creatures doing your land dirty work?
Yes. I want creatures to do my dirty land work for me. Oh man, Sebastian Pozzo.
Yeah, Sebastian Pozzo did make the top 8.
He was in the World Championship last year.
Yeah, Draft Master.
The Draft Master.
So yeah, we've got our top 8 deck lists here. A Mardu Pyromancer piloted by Jose Luis Echeverra.
No, do you know what?
What?
I take it back. Young Pyromancer is not the worst card in this deck.
What's the worst card?
I obviously don't mean that it's the worst card. It's an amazing, it's a great card. Good. Bedlam Reveler can get the heck out of town.
I don't even care about Bedlam Reveler.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Bedlam Reveler can go straight to heck.
I'm just like Path to Exile.
Okay, but they just drew 3 cards.
Yeah, I guess. What I more hate is their sideboard. That's actually why I don't like this. Why this deck is so good.
Also, 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Inquisition.
Yeah,
and many of them.
That's terrible.
That makes you a monster.
In
case you've ever wondered about yourself, am I a monster?
How many copies of Thoughtseize
Take a look at your modern deck and ask yourself, how many copies of Thoughtseize am I playing? And the answer is yes, you are a monster.
8.
I would say anything that's 6 and above.
6 and above.
I will give you 5 copies.
Yeah. How about what about
you're
adding in Collective Brutality into that mix?
Do you know what? That's fine. It costs 2 mana.
Okay, so you're fine with that one.
Yeah, I'm not going to count that. That doesn't count towards your 5.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't count towards your 5.
All right. That's a fair number in my opinion.
I feel like it is a very fair number. Thank you.
Here's the thing with Mardu Pyromancer. They run engineered explosives out of the board.
Yeah, they do.
They run wear tear out of the board.
Yeah.
Another Collective Brutality out of the board. Oh.
Also, do you know what? Just like 2 Blood Moons in the main deck. In the main deck. What?
How dare you?
What is
this deck?
What is this deck? What a disgusting set of cards. Obviously, it makes it brutally efficient, right?
Yes.
Like, that's enough disruption to just really get the job done against like combo decks sometimes, or even decks like Boggles, right? You've said before, if you're on the draw and they Thoughtseize you on turn 1 and like you usually only have 1 creature and they take it and you're like, well,
rip.
Now
this is actually
now
why
we just wait.
This is why I'm salty personally. It's because at the GP I played against one person who's playing Mardu Pyromancer, and they thought I had a good matchup versus them playing Boggles, and I was like, "You're out of your mind! This is a terrible matchup. How can you even say that?" And a lot of people actually do say this because Boggles has the best card in the deck, Daybreak Coronet. But here's the thing: there's only 4 copies of it, and you can't always stick it because your creature's dead. You Thoughtseize it away or whatever. So anyway, I'm done hearing that from you, Mardu Pyromancer's players. Yes. I'm over it.
Sometimes I feel like playing Scapeshift against this deck, I usually feel okay, actually.
Yeah.
Because it's like I have enough, like a couple of pieces of removal main, and it's like, okay, you can like Thoughtseize me, but my main, like my hand is usually doing all one thing.
It doesn't matter.
So it's like, it doesn't matter. But sometimes they just Blood Moon you in game 1.
Yeah.
And you're like, freaking excuse me.
Yeah. Freaking excuse me.
Like I literally can't win the game now.
Yeah, Blood Moon, man.
Before I die.
Ugh. I hate that card.
And it's just like, how dare you?
How dare you? I only have 2 basics in my entire deck.
I feel like
dare you?
You shouldn't be able to shore up all of your matchups this well.
Yeah.
Right? Like this just does it across the board.
So I might agree that this is the best deck in Modern right now. And in fact, it took down the whole tournament. So
wow,
that's saying something. You know,
it really is.
That's saying
it's saying that I hate them.
But yeah, there's a couple of Trons in here. Yeah. There's an Obzon.
Hold on, we can take a look at all of them.
Okay, take a look at all of them for me.
Yeah.
Do it. But yeah, it was very funny. This tournament was pretty cool to see, and the World Cup was going on at the same time, and so they had a TV setup, a giant TV setup in the convention center, so everybody could watch that.
That's amazing.
You know, while the tournament was going on, which I thought was
so sweet,
pretty cute. Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at what else made the top 8.
Yeah.
Down in Brazil.
Amulet Titan. A deck that really seemed like it should have been dead a long time ago.
Yeah, it surprises
it's still
me.
Kicking.
Every time I see it make a top 8 of an event, I'm like, all right, like one of your most important pieces was banned, and now you're still going for it, you know?
Yeah. And now people are like, what do you mean? Which piece was banned?
Yeah.
You're like, you remember? Look, let me tell you about the days of this card called Summer Bloom. Which really just messed you up good.
Summer Bloom.
Also, that's a deck that interestingly would also get hit by the Ancient Stirrings ban if they ever decided to go down that road.
It would.
Then it might truly be dead. Who knows?
Yeah, I can't. Maybe they print like a little bit worse version of Ancient Stirrings, and then they're like, here, now play with that.
Yeah. Now that like Kaladesh block, like once it rotates out, you couldn't have done it right now.
No.
Do you know what I don't need? Is people more consistently playing Heart of Kieran's against me.
Meghan's enemy number 1.
That's what no one needs right now. Speaking of Ancient Stirrings, though.
Yes.
Krark Clan Ironworks.
That's in the top 8.
Yeah, that was what Sebastian Pazzo played.
I believe this is also one of the best decks in the format.
Do you know what?
Krark Clan.
Maybe it's just because at heart, I do love a good combo. Like, I don't feel upset at people for playing this deck. I'm like, do you know what?
All right.
You do your thing, man.
But have you played against it?
I have.
And you were just like, okay.
Yeah. Like, do you know what? All right.
Oof. Red Green Eldrazi of all things.
Eldrazi can get wrecked on the other hand. If this is what makes you happy, you're a monster.
Come on, you're just playing creatures, 4/4s and 5/5s.
Exactly.
I'm fine with it. Mardu Pyromancer, somebody else had that in the top 8. Tron.
Ooh, here we go.
Classic.
Tron, also another deck that had disappeared for a while.
It's Eldrazi Tron.
It seemed like it was
well, is it? No,
it has 4 cards and 2 Eugenes, and 2 Ulamog. So that's straight up Tron. Was kind of gone for a while, it's been really making a strong comeback.
Tron will never die. You know, people say, oh, if you ban Ancient Stirrings, the deck's dead or whatever. Yeah. I don't think so. I think people love that deck so much, it'll find a way to persevere.
Yeah, like Amulet Titan through the Summer Bloom ban.
Abzan Traverse.
Ooh, named for Traverse the Ulvenwald.
Yeah, Grim Flayer in here, Tarmogoyf, Siege Rhino, your best
2
friend.
Siege Rhino. Oh, go straight to heck.
News. Yeah, this is just as fair as you can get in Modern. It really is. Basically.
Wow. That's the most fair deck I've seen in a very long time.
And Affinity.
Nice. All right. Ooh, are they playing any
great question.
Any of our friends? No, they aren't. No. They're playing 2 Karn. We have some friends who both played Affinity at GP Vegas, in the Modern portion. They both went, I want to say one of them went 12-3. Yeah. And the other one went like 13-2 or something. No, the other way. Down. 11-4. Yeah. I was like, which one is that way?
Top 8?
No. The other way.
The other way down.
But like, and they were both playing multiple copies of Antiquities War, and they were both like, this card is busted.
I think it's great. You just get to dig for whatever you need.
They played it over Karn, and then like, it's just that like it hits if it hits chapter 3, your opponent's dead.
Your opponent's dead.
You're literally attacking with like
the only
like an uncountable number of things.
Yeah, 5/5. Everything is a 5/5.
Everything that you've ever played in your life is a 5/5.
I love it. I think that's spicy. I think it's great. And great.
But some versions still playing Karn.
Yeah, interesting.
Another Mardu Pyromancer. All right. That's a nice top 8.
Good diverse top 8.
All right.
Distinct lack of hexproof boys, but I'll let it slide. Can't be every tournament.
Distinct lack of control, which had really at Barcelona was like on the uptick.
On where was the up? Oh, in Barcelona. Yeah.
Had done really well for itself.
Interesting.
Yeah.
News item number 3, small changes to Brawl, by the way, if you're into Brawl and you want to play some of those sparring decks in 1 versus 1. So multiplayer, they think it's pretty good. 1 versus 1, small changes. Number 1, your starting life total is 25. Mm-hmm. So it used to be 30. They went down to 20. Now it's split the difference. It's at 25. And also you can take 1 free mulligan.
Ooh.
So there you go. Same as like Commander or something, right? You get 1 free mulligan. So yeah. Brawl, tiny little changes still out there. We're going to play some Brawl decks in a video very soon. I'm super excited. News. M19 first impressions.
That's a good croissant, by the way.
Yeah.
The one that I'm eating.
Well, someone's got to find Meghan's stat because I don't know who this person sitting next to me is.
Anyways.
Yeah.
M19.
M19.
So, Maria.
Yes.
Kick it off.
All right. So we set it up top. M19, classic magic.
It really is. As you're playing it, you're just like, all right, what are we doing? Well, we're playing creatures and we're removing creatures and we're attacking with creatures.
Yep. It is just...
There you go.
It felt so pure and so like basic magic, which I think really nails it for a core set because that's exactly the feel that you want. And I was a little concerned because they use a lot of their rare slots to print sideboard cards for Modern. Yeah. So I was like, how will that affect things? It's fine. It plays out exactly like you would expect core magic to play out. So if you have the friend, I'll use this moment to say, if you have a friend or somebody you want to teach magic to, I think this is the absolute 100% perfect time to do it.
It is a great set. Because do you know what? There's not a bunch of like mechanics going on that they need to learn. No. They just, and it says everything that you need to know right there on the card. Super helpful.
All the reminder text. I'm pulling out my pre-release deck right now to take a peek at what I played at the pre-release.
Yeah. Okay. Here's, starting at the top, here's my hot take.
Hot take.
Take Vengeance, 1 and a white, destroy target tapped creature.
Yeah.
Good. Not great.
So too much with vigilance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what you want to kill? The thing that your opponent put a Knightly Valor on. Do you know what you can't kill?
Yeah.
The thing your opponent put a Knightly Valor on.
By the way, Knightly Valor, always take it and play it.
Boy.
Great.
Knightly Valor. I played against Grayson, the kid who got
Pro Tour competitor.
Exactly. I shouldn't call him a kid because he's like 15, I think. 16.
No,
something like that.
14.
14? Anyways, he's young, but probably not young enough to be called a kid without being insulting to him.
Tell us how old you are in YouTube comments. I can't remember.
I'm trying to not be hurtful to him.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm sure if you called me a kid when I was 14, I'd be like,
I'm not a kid.
Get out of here. I go to high school.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yes,
played against him and he just played. I was like winning for sure. I had just like played Elena, and like made a bunch of tokens. I'm like, things are good. I start flooding a little bit. He goes Colossal Dreadmaw, Knightly Valor, one of the Colossal Dreadmaws.
Oh yeah,
and I have a Take Vengeance in my hand, and he like just read me for it easy. He just like starts attacking me with a little Knightly Valor Dreadmaw, and I was like, oh, fair enough.
Colossal Dreadmaw.
Enough.
Printed at rare in every set. 6/6 with trample. Yeah, just good enough.
Just good enough, man.
This is like, you know what? This is how we should rate sets. How good is Colossal Dreadmaw
in this set? In this set, great card.
Great.
Honestly, we should make it the new Riparian Tiger test.
That's
because it's
true.
more recent.
It's more recent. Yeah. The Colossal Dreadmaw test. Yeah, that's a good. So what deck did you play?
What deck did I play? Great question.
So you had white, certainly, because you had Take Vengeance.
I was playing Take Vengeance. That is very true.
So we got that far.
Yes. I was playing black, white, splash red.
That's right. You had 8 pieces of removal.
Yes, I did. I had so many. I had like 2 Take Vengeance. I had a Strangling Spores. I had 2 Electrify.
Nice.
And I had the rare version of Electrify that's 3 mana.
Spitfire.
Spitfire.
Spit Flame.
Spit Flames.
Spit something fiery.
Spit. Anyways, so let's see. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gosh, I had 2 more. Oh, I had the 7 mana 3/3 that destroys a permanent.
Oh yeah, a Meteor Golem.
Yeah, great card. And
Spit Flame. Yeah,
Spit Flame. I don't remember what the last one was, but man, that was nice.
Did you have the Did you play the 7 mana do 7 to or excuse me 6 mana do 7 to a creature?
No, because red was my splash.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't open it.
I just want to know. Fiery Finish.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have because also it was in my splash color.
Okay.
Also, very easy to splash in this set.
Yes, there's good fixing the lands. And, you have a lot of dual lands to work with.
I had like a dual land and a Manolith.
Yeah, Manolith.
And legit. It was like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we both ended the tournament at 3-1. So we built okay decks at the very least. And oh, by the way, I have to make what I very rarely will make on this show, which is an apology to all of our listeners out there. I made a mistake in naming the Cutest Card. I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth.
You really did. And do you know what? I don't mean to rub it in, but man, you forked up big time.
I really did. This is the problem. I hadn't properly examined every card in the set. I had seen one and just thought, how can it get cuter than this Stegosaurus? So I'm going to just pick the Stegosaurus. And that is my bad.
Wow.
So I realized on a stream all too quickly that I'd made a horrible mistake and that the Cutest Card is actually Dwindle.
It is. It's so cute. It's painful. I don't know
how I missed this.
Oh my God.
This card is adorable. If you
This is literally one of the cutest arts of all time.
You need to go look because it's also terrifying because what's happening here. So a wolf has been shrunk down
to the size of a mouse
and it's being fed to other mice.
What? I don't know if it's being fed or if it's just being put in the same cage as. It's going to be like a battle royale situation in here.
I guess the wolf would win. If it's a mouse-sized wolf will beat mice-sized mice in a fight, obviously. But
I'm really glad we've established this. A mouse-sized wolf will beat mice-sized mice in a fight.
Yes.
Wait. Hear me out.
What?
What if you're wrong?
That is how. Because the wolf doesn't understand how to be small.
Yeah.
Or at the same size as its prey.
Exactly. Also, I think like mice could be vicious.
There's 2 mice in this picture too. So it's 2-1.
This is all leading up to say, if you have a take on who would win this fight, tweet at us with the hashtag mice-sized mice.
I don't know. Wolves are pretty vicious though, and mice are
really
just interested in cheese and mazes. Mice would love an escape room. Their whole lives are escape rooms sometimes in the lab. Just saying.
Mice whole lives are escape rooms. What a philosophical show we're bringing.
By the way,
I think so. That's his tattoos.
Yeah.
Wow, Jace, what a meanie.
Who had the tattoos first, Jace or Liliana?
Liliana, she's 1 billion years old.
Okay, so Jace copied her on those sweet tats.
Yeah. Oh my God, I just can't get over it.
It's so cute.
So cute. It's painful.
It's adorable.
It's so mad. It's so tiny.
I'm printing a correction in this newspaper that is Magic the Amateuring. That Dwindle is the cutest card of M19. Oh, anyway, my deck was blue-white.
Yeah, your deck had some great cards in it.
I thought this deck was great. The number 1 card was Patient Rebuilding. Oh. Which is 3 blue. So it's not even that expensive for a sorcery. And on your upkeep,
not a sorcery, an enchantment. On your upkeep, your opponent mills 3 cards. And if any land cards are put into the graveyard this way, you draw a card based on how many land cards are put in. So they put in 2 lands, you draw 2 cards, and then you still draw your card for your upkeep. Oof. So let me just tell you for your draw step. God, where am I? Anyway, so this card, I was like, we'll see how good it is. It is fantastic. Pick one every single time. I once drew 3 cards off of it and felt like an utter genius. It's so good. All it does this card is like enchantment. I was sitting there watching that happen. Yeah. And I was like, Maria's deck looks busted. And then I was like, I think if you draw 4 cards a turn, almost any deck. You drew something like 6 cards across 2 turns, and it's like that's just absurd. By the way, there was only 1 occasion when I did not draw cards off of this. Wow. And it was fine because I'd already netted so many off of it. I wasn't even mad. Yeah. How could you be? You're like, okay. The deck was cool. And the reason that I think it was super cool is, who is this ghost? Who is this ghost that I'm looking for? Departed Deckhand. 1 and a blue for a 2/2. When it becomes a target of a spell, sacrifice it. It can't be blocked except by spirits. I don't know how many spirits are in this set, but I never saw one across the table from this. 3 and a blue. Another target creature you control can't be blocked by spirits this turn. Can't be blocked except by spirits this turn, excuse me. I love this card. It's a 2-drop for 2/2 for 2, so it's a bear. It has evasion, and it helps your other creatures have evasion late in the game, and there's almost nothing your opponent can do about it. If they want to do something, they literally have to use a removal spell on it because it's not spells or abilities. Anyway, it's great. I love that card. Star-Crowned Stag. Also a great card.
Excellent.
Classic Elmer. Classic Elk
Classic
Friend.
Elmer.
3 and a white for a 3/3. Whenever it attacks, tap target creature defending player controls.
Yeah.
What a great stag. What great art.
Fabulous art.
Classic stag.
Card was good in the set that it was in, which was Theros.
Yeah, that was the one that had Bestow.
Oh, it was even better.
What a world that was.
But
We were really living large.
Omen Speaker back in. Amazing.
Yeah. Great card.
What do you think overall of the speed of the format? Because that's something important to establish up front in a new format.
That's a great question. I think it's like a core set.
Yeah.
Very medium.
So very medium.
It's not very
mid-range.
fast. It's also not very slow. My loss came, I lost game 1 to, my opponent put a lot of things on a Pegasus Courser.
Yeah,
and I could not find one of my removal spells to deal with it.
Yeah.
And then like the next one, I lost multiple games across the day by keeping 2 land hands and not finding a third soon enough.
Yeah, that's
the thing. Like you'll get, unlike Dominaria, where I think that sometimes you could get away with that for a couple of turns. You're like, okay,
right.
You have time to draw out of it.
Right.
I don't know that it's a format. It's not so slow that you're gonna have time to draw out of stuff like that if you don't hit a land in the next couple of draws. Yes,
I agree. But I think we all need to be vigilant because there are the fast decks out there.
Yeah.
I did run into and played online some red-white aggressive decks, which will just smash your face in using cards like Viashino Pyromancer to deal 2 to you. That extra little 2 can matter, and Mighty Leap to give them +2/+2 and flying. All of these things, and green-white can be very aggressive too. So these decks do exist. They're not non-existent. Like we're all still probably in the haze of Dominaria. We're like these decks just don't happen. Large. We don't care. We can splash all the colors. No, M19.
You can do anything you want.
Is will restrict you a little bit more than that. By the way, online, I drafted my dream deck.
Which was?
It was mono green, except for 3 copies of Satyr. I don't know what it was. Satyr, it cares about you playing auras and enchantments.
Oh,
Satyr Enchanter or something like that. And including Druid of Horns, which makes 3/3 beasts when you cast aura spells that target it. And all of the auras you could ever want. It was amazing. It was beautiful, Megan. It was beautiful.
That's all that you want to do. All that you want to do.
I'm also having a ton of fun playing M19, by the way, which, isn't a given that because it's a core set, which you're like, oh, that's so simple. Like, just
very straightforward.
But it's super fun.
It's great.
Anyway.
Yeah,
that's my hot take.
My deck was like very, honestly, like it had a lot of removal, and other than that, it was like very mid-range.
Yeah.
Like my curve topped out at, I did have a 1/7 drop, like I said, the 3/3 that destroys something, but like other than that, like I had Lena at 6, which is the one that makes a bunch of like 1/1 tokens. I had 2 Angel of Dawn.
I love Angel of Dawn.
Angel of the Dawn. Anyways, the one that's a 3/3 that when it comes in, it gives all of your creatures +1/+1 in vigilance.
That card is sick.
That card is so good. I had 2 copies
for that card.
Like
it'll get you.
Right? I had like Lena, and I was like, okay, but then I opened 2 copies of that, and I'm like, now I'm in white.
Plus Lena.
Now I'm in white.
That's
this
sick.
Is great.
Boom.
Yeah.
I love playing Gallant Cavalry, which is AKA Call the Cavalry, but it's not a sorcery.
Better Call the Cavalry.
Better Call the Cavalry. I think it is better in this set than Call the Cavalry was in Dominaria.
Yes.
Call the Cavalry into Angel of Dawn. Boom, get you. How do you deal with my 2/3/3 vigilance attackers?
It's like you built your own History of Benalia.
Yeah. Yeah, build your own. They go so well together. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is a combo that I think is fantastic as well.
Yeah, overall, we look forward to bringing you more insights as we play it a little bit more. But right now, make sure you're pack and removal because it's a classic core set. You're just going to want to kill creatures. You want to have a solid curve with, it's like back to basics, like evasion is great.
Some 2-drops.
Removal is great. Play some 2-drops, some 3-drops.
Sadly, by Dominaria, but
gone are the days when no one played anything until turn 4.
Yeah,
which sometimes I played matches
all the time.
Where that happened.
I'm still having this problem where I'm like, I've got 4 drops in my hand. I'll keep it. No, play turns 4. It's fine. No, it's not fine.
No,
we got to move away from that a little bit. Colossal Dreadmaw, a good card.
Yeah,
so there you go.
Yeah. We're pausing the show to say thank you to Ultra Pro.
That rhymed.
It really did.
Hey, guess what I'm holding right here?
A sick Ultra Pro deck box.
Check it out. I used this at the pre-release.
And even while you were using it, I was like, look at that sick deck box. I literally said that.
Here it is. It's a deck box that is large enough to hold 1 million cards, and it has a little dice slot in the bottom.
Oh, it's so good.
It's great. And by the way, I got compliments again, as I always do, on my space dice.
Space dice.
They're actually called gravity dice, but
to ultrapro.com, or you can get them at cardkingdom.com/MTAcast and see all of these awesome space dice.
My space
They call them gravity dice.
Gravity dice.
Deck boxes, playmats, great sleeves, whether you want art, whether you want a clip sleeves that shuffle so nice, have that sweet matte finish.
Yeah.
Head on over there.
Ultra Pro is great, and we're happy to have them as a sponsor, and you should check out their stuff. So now we're going to talk about learning control, which is the lesson for me in life, because I've played a lot of aggressive decks, a lot of creature-based strategies. Control has been something of a mystery and has eluded me as to, number one, why would you play it? Number two, how you would play it.
I, on the other hand, talk with my therapist all the time about how much I have too much control over the things in my life. So
she's like, I think you need to start playing aggressive decks.
It sounds like a joke, but it only partly is.
So I had the pleasure of being in the booth with Andrew Brown, who's absolutely fantastic, and Reed Duke, who's absolutely fantastic, while we were watching some Standard these past couple of weekends, and a lot of control decks happened to me while I was there.
They happened to all of us.
Yes, they did. Everybody watching it. We had some control and control mirrors, which were kind of silly.
Oh boy.
And I just got some extra insight into control watching these matches from our esteemed pros who were next to me in the booth. And I wanted to share some of the lessons I learned with you.
Tell us about your takeaways.
This is from our newsletter. So number one, control is played in the hand. All right. So what does that mean? If you know me, you know I'm not a control player, not even close. Anyway, here you go. Sorry. I've gotten to watch a lot of control versus control magic. It's amazing I survived to tell the tale. Here we go. Reed said something this past weekend that's really stuck with me. Control isn't played on the board. It's played in the hand. This was revelatory to me as a creature-based deck player who is consistently thinking about winning with permanence on the battlefield. What if I thought about the battlefield as living in my hand instead of on the board, like turning the game sideways? Once I understood that more clearly, that the players were playing a hand-based card quality subgame, it made those mirror matches more interesting to watch. So what I just thought, what if this battlefield where I'm normally putting creatures out and everything isn't happening, but instead the creatures are spells and card draw things, and they're living in my hand, and the battlefield's in our hands and not actually on the table.
And you can't see your opponent's battlefield.
And you don't know what creatures they might have.
Yeah. And you're just trying to have enough answers for your opponent's quote unquote creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? It was really crazy for me to think about that, because I just was like, oh, that makes so much more sense, as opposed to there's just two people who are sitting here and drawing cards every turn and just sitting here. But what they're actually doing is committing more quote unquote creatures to the board by having more answers in their hand.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that's the way I had to think about it for it to kind of click.
I think that one of the things that I always forget if I step away from Standard Magic for a while and I'm not playing control mirrors and then I come back, I always forget right away how much I need to not be the first person to cast a spell.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
It's
patience.
Not great. You need to be so patient, and then you need to be more patient beyond that.
Set yourself up for success and let the other person make the mistake, is the way that my dad would say it when he was coaching hockey. Make them make the mistake.
Yeah. And so you just it feels so strange sometimes to just be like, all that I'm doing is making land drops, and all I want to do is keep making land drops.
Right.
And somehow, if I'm just doing that,
that's all
I'm putting myself in a better position to win this game.
That was my second lesson.
Trying to tap out on 5 and just slam my Scarab God, and it's no, bad news. don't do it.
Speaking of land drops, this is a lesson from Andrew. He said, who wins in control mirrors often comes down to whoever plays the most lands, because the ability to cast more spells than your opponent is paramount. If you're able to cast just one more counter spell than your opponent on a critical turn, it can make all of the difference.
Yeah.
And I did not know that either. He's just sitting there like, oh, they missed their land drop. And I'm like, wow, is that the most important thing that's going on right now? Yeah. It kind of is.
That's one of the places where it's like, right, if you're trying to be the most patient person and not cast spells, but if you're just like, you hit your 5th land drop and you have no more lands in hand, it's like, okay, maybe on your opponent's end step, now you're going to cast this Glimmer of Genius.
Yeah.
Because you really do not want to miss your 6th land drop.
That's so weird. Glimmer, and I want this land to join my other 20 lands on the battlefield.
Okay, maybe like not once you're at like 20, but like, right? I would say as you're counting up, like you need to get, you want that number to be high of your lands, on the battlefield.
It's so wild.
If you get stuck at 5, you're just like, oh, I'm losing this game. Did I ever tell you about this? So this was when I was trying out Control in Modern.
Yeah.
And I'm playing a Control mirror in Modern, and my opponent gets stuck on 3 for a while. And I'm like, yes, great. So I just start like that deck has a little bit more burn because I was playing Jeskai. Yes. So I start burning them because I'm like, do you know what? There's a chance that like I kill them if I just like cast a snap, like if I bolt their face, Snapcaster, bolt their face again and start attacking in. And eventually they hit 4 and I cast a Cryptic Command and bounce one of their lands back to their hand.
Nice.
And they try and counter, but I played enough more lands that I like counter it back and they just scoop at that point because they know like they're never going to be able to get enough lands onto the battlefield to stop me from doing what I want to do.
That's so wild.
It was a very satisfying feeling.
So there you go. If you're like me and have a little trouble with Control, I think thinking of it the way that I presented might help you find it more interesting, or at least give you more of an insight into actually what is happening. If I kind of think of it that way as a creature deck player, as opposed to just thinking about it was like, oh, draw this thing. Okay, now I'm going to counter.
I'm so proud of you as you begin this journey. It's a wonderful thing.
Thank you. Maybe I'll even find it interesting enough to do at some point. Oh, who am I kidding? Who am I kidding?
Was that painful to say? It seemed like it was painful for you to say.
Speaking of being body snatched, who's not living? Maybe the alien body snatched you into my body and then I'm somewhere eating a bagel.
Wow. I hope so. The part where you're eating a bagel somewhere.
Oh, okay.
That part. I want to be me. No offense to you.
That's fine. I want to be eating a cinnamon raisin bagel with peanut butter on top.
That's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. So
wow. Really?
Okay, no, it's not like disgusting, but like that is not, when I'm talking about a bagel experience, that is not the experience I'm talking about.
What's your perfect bagel experience?
Just like a classic sesame seed bagel, like nice and crispy toasted with cream cheese. Plain cream cheese.
Classic.
Yeah.
Use the hashtag bagel experience. Let us know your favorite bagel.
When I was in Montreal, man, if any of our listeners are from Montreal, you all know your bagels are dope.
What's with Montreal bagels? So
they like they're boiled in like, not, it's gonna sound weird when I say sugar water, but it's not like super sugary or anything.
Give me sugar.
It's just like lightly sugary, and so it makes their outsides just like the tiniest bit sweet, and then they're also like nice. A little bit denser. They're like kind of breadier on the inside. They're really good.
Montreal bagels.
Yeah,
watch out, New York. It's time for Flavor Text Theater presents Movie Pitches.
That's right. We've got a brand new set, which means it's time for some brand new movies based on the titles, or the titles taken from the cards.
We will, we'll make some winners here, I have no doubt.
Yes. So if you are a movie studio executive,
we say this every time.
Contact us.
Haven't had a call yet, sadly.
I think it's probably like, it's hard to find our contact info. We never say it.
Yeah, we never do say it.
We never say it.
Okay, so if it's a reprint, I don't know, then you can maybe skip it if we've done it before on movie pitches. Okay, so what is this one going to be? I've got a rare actually. So
wow.
By the way, enter our Gleam contest in the show notes or linked under the video to win some of these cards. Okay, So what happens in this?
Okay, I've got one.
Okay.
So in this one, in my movie pitch,
yes,
we are taken inside the human brain.
Ooh, like Magic School Bus style?
Yes, exactly. Except this is sort of like a fantasy version where there are people, like not people, but there's like essentially humanoid looking organisms that live on your brain and cultivate it.
Oh,
so they're essentially like the gardeners of your brain.
Cool.
And everyone has them, right? Everyone's brain is like this amazing garden.
I like it.
And you have all of the different areas where different kinds of like, right? Like you're like the visual part of your brain is like these really beautiful flowery trees. And like the oral section of your brain is like a symphony orchestra, right? And it's like all taken care of by these caretakers. And then they realize one day that there is some sort of pervasive rot that is like spreading through the brain.
Oh no.
And they're having to battle it. So they have to go to battle and try and figure out what it is that is like corrupting people's brains.
This is trippy AF.
It really is. Anyways, mind rot.
Wow. Don't watch that under certain circumstances. Mine is a movie that's about somebody. I'm really obsessed with fortune tellers in these for some reason. It's a woman who wants to know her future so badly that she does some dark magic that ends up telling her future, but in doing so has tainted everything bad. So it would have been... The things that happened to her would have been good. They would have been happy. But because she decided to use dark magic to foretell them, they have been tainted and thus turned bad.
No.
And in fact, she keeps doing it so much to the nth degree that she ends up spoiling everything in her life into her own demise.
Wow.
Of her and those around her. And she ends up having to live in a dark cave under the earth. But she can tell the future, which is what she always wanted. However, her life became, in shambles, and she now is forced to live in a dark cave under the ground. But people come to her for the future, but she can only foretell evil things. Dark Dweller Oracle.
All right.
A cautionary tale.
Nice. Don't use magic, kids. All right. This one is like a high fantasy.
Okay.
And we go way back in time. And there is a witch who, even though she's trying to be good, it's still during a time when she's like cast out from her community.
Yeah.
And she transforms into an evil serpent. And then wreaks havoc on the community to get back at them. And then lives a lonely and miserable life for a very, very, very long time because she's a witch. So she's essentially eternal. And then there's like what is left of that community, kind of like, scraps itself back together, and generations and generations and generations down the line, they're rebuilding, and they're built around the hatred now of this serpent that, in their history destroyed their community. Yes. And every generation, they have a warrior that's supposed to go out and try and trap the serpent and kill it, and none of them have returned and so we see the woman who's the warrior for her generation, and she goes out and she finds it, and she finds the blades of all of the warriors that have tried to kill it before embedded in the serpent, except it's still alive.
Wow. Epic.
And it makes her realize I can't just try and kill this thing. I'll meet the same end.
Right.
And so instead she befriends it, and she learns the story of the witch who was originally cast out. And together they go back and they wreak havoc on the community again. Together. It's called Daggerback Basilisk.
That's great. I'm watching it late night on Cinemax or something. All right. This one is a comedy. It's a happy-go-lucky guy named Frank who's a little chubby and tries to do things well. And he is going to Hawaii with a bunch of his old frat buddies from college. Yeah. And they're going to have a sweet party in Hawaii and just tear it up like they did back in the days. Like his life's not really together. He's still living in his parents' basement and all of that kind of stuff. But, he means well. Played by, what's his name from Parks and Rec?
Oh, yeah. Chris Pratt.
Played by Chris Pratt, obviously. What's his name? Oh, my God. Okay. Anyway, they're in Hawaii. I'm old. And they're like, what we should do one drunken night? They're like, we should climb up to this volcano. and like check it out. And of course, Frank trips and falls into the volcano, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Frank's dead!" But he rises back out of the volcano and he's fine. And they're all like, "What? This is messed up." And that's when the Marvel credits roll. And you realize you've been watching a Marvel movie the whole time, and it's a brand new character called Lava Axe.
So it's the origin story for Lava Axe.
And of course he can throw a lava axe.
Yes. Do you know what? That needs to be picked up immediately. We need to make that film.
Chris Pratt, call me.
That is a classic comedy.
Yeah. I think that needs to happen.
I can see it. Yeah, I can see it. Okay, this one is about an athlete. We'll just call them M for now.
Okay.
And you know, he's been working really hard his entire life. We'll say that he's a fencer. Okay. I love fencing.
Yeah.
Anyways, and he's been working really hard his entire life, and he has like a lot of talent, but the problem is that he can't overcome his anxiety when it comes to being at an actual tournament and fighting a match.
Yeah.
He just is always filled with just like overwhelming anxiety. And it's just a story about like he's trying to battle that, and his nemesis is like this like hyper confident opponent, you know, from like some, you know, fancy school of fencing, who just has always won and believes that they're always ahead and always winning. And eventually he overcomes his anxiety, and his name is Maw. It's Colossal Dreadmaw. Also relating to my own story where I was hyper confidently winning a game, and then Colossal Dreadmaw got me.
All right, this is a lovely tale akin to A Knight's Tale of a young knight who she really wants to be awesome, but you know, is not very good, and in tournaments always consistently losing, until somebody, very mysterious figure, gives her a shield and a sword that are imbued with magical properties. And she can finally, she's winning all of these battles, and just nothing but destruction in her path. And everyone's like, wow, you were really good this whole time. We can't believe you're so talented. But deep down, she's like, oh no, it's because I have this magical sword. It's not because I'm actually any good.
Yeah.
Gets to the final battle, and the sword and the shield are broken versus the opponent, who has got some like dark magic going on or something. Wow. She's like, oh no, this is terrible. I'm never going to win now. But her squire shows up and is like, here, take this old knight, this old sword from when you were starting. She's like, well, that's basically my death sentence. And here we go. But finds out that the power was in her all along, and wins anyway with the old sword. Novice knight. Novice knight.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, in this one, we go back to the Regency era.
Ooh,
and there's a governess, and she is teaching this woman who is immensely talented. She's incredible with languages. She's an incredible piano player. Like, she's just brilliant.
Yeah.
And this woman it reminds her a lot of herself. And she's like, look how much good it did me, right? At the end of the day, I'm just a governess because there's not enough room in this world for women to be brilliant the way that this girl is. And so she obviously dresses her as a boy.
Yeah.
And they go to Europe, and they tour Europe as like this amazing pianist, and you know, become very successful and very acclaimed. It's called Inspired Charge.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I've got a movie about famine in a village. The whole village is dying. Everybody's, you know, they're hungry. But there's no food. There's no rain. It's a famine. What are they going to do? A girl in a field finds a rock, and the rock is magic, and is like, I feel like I can use this rock to feed many people. And she places the rock on top of another rock. It's like a pyramid sort of situation. And those like rock tower things, boom, and it goes on there, and a giant like Millery like builds up around her, and she's able to feed the town and stop the famine. Millstone.
Yep. Okay. You know what? Before he met Dorothy, the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz was not a great person. This is the story of who he was before he came to meet her and become a good person. Field creeper.
He was a field creeper. Oh, my this movie is just about It's like a Mr. Magoo situation, but it's from the dead. It's a skeleton Mr. Magoo, and he just goes around making all sorts of mistakes and getting hit by cars and falling off cliffs, reassembling skeleton.
Perfect. I think that we need to stop there. We're gonna stop there at Field Creeper and reassembling
Mr. Magoo skeleton.
Exactly.
Once again, call us Paramount.
These are obviously just genius.
These are gems.
Every single one of them.
Well, everybody, that's our show for this week. Hope you had a good time hanging out with us. More M19 next week for sure.
Yes.
Follow us on twitch.tv/magictheamateuring to check out our M19 arena stream coming up this week.
If you want to know all about what our favorite card is in the core set.
Yes.
Sign up for our newsletter. We're going to have a section coming up in the next one.
Okay.
About each of our favorite current cards in the core set. Not rares even.
If you're too... Oh, yeah. Not even rares. Just like whatever.
Just our favorite cards. And another sweet recipe. This time coming from this one.
Awesome.
By which I mean me. I pointed at myself.
If you want to check out how our pre-release was in IRL, kind of, I guess. I don't know. We're going to have a pre-release vlog up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/MTAcast. This Wednesday, you can hang out with us for a vlog, and it's full of hot takes. Not only from us.
Full of hot takes.
But also friends of the show. The Pirate Boys are in the video giving their hot takes. Ryan Overturf of SCG coverage is in there giving his hot takes about the format. I had to play him in the last round and was destroyed by his dumb Sarkin enchantment.
Dumb Sarkin.
I say dumb because
we talked about that.
Awesome.
It is really good.
It is so good.
That card where it looks like first you look at it and you're like, this is a trap. And then you look at it a second time and you're like, wait, no, this is awesome.
This is just great. Because I'm just going to be playing big creatures, which I want to do, and also killing their creatures at the same time.
Yep.
Try and get out from under that hole. You can't. Spoiler alert. Anyway, that'll be up on our YouTube channel, which will be pretty cool. And
thanks again to the sponsors of the show. Whether you are a patron supporting us, cardkingdom.com/MTAcast and Ultra Pro.
I'm also going to put the link to sign up for the newsletter in the show notes and under the YouTube video, so you can just click on that as well to find out how to, sign up for cool things and that sort of thing. And that's
all right. Till next time, peeps.
I turned into a robot. Help me. I'm trapped in a robot